friends, happy Friday. I want to go over a trade that I did on AMD. So this will show you what to do when your covered call gets into money and you do not want to give away your shares and you want to keep them. But now you're down on the covered call and it sometimes might be 10x of what you got. So you might be down 1000%. I know it sounds weird, but if you got $1.27, you might have to pay back $10.27 to buy it back, right? So that's why I'm saying you might be down 1000%, which is funny, but yeah, it's possible when it comes to covered calls. So, all right, look at this. So I sold covered call on AMD at some point month and a half ago, probably 45 days. That's my usual strategy. And I sold it for 110. That was I thought, okay, 110 could be a good place where I don't think the stock will not get. It was somewhere here. Yeah, on this day, I think on May 10th, I sold it. And we had NVIDIA earnings. And of course, the stock got there. So I usually wait when I'm in the situation where the covered call is really down and I will have to pay a lot to buy it back. A, I will get rid of the shares, but B, I'm waiting for the last day. Why? Because a lot of times in the past I freaked out. I started becoming emotional about the shares. I didn't want to give away my shares and I bought back the covered call for a lot of money. Huge loss. And in this case, for example, AMD, I got $1.27 for the call, but I would have to pay yesterday or this week $3,000 to buy it back, right? So that's not worth it. So if that's the case, and a lot of times again, like you wait until the last day if it's the case, because look what happened last 2 days. AMD is falling. It's not getting to 110, but it's saving me a huge amount of money. So in the past, sometimes I would freak out and say, no, I don't want to get rid of my shares. I would buy back the call and then the stock tanked back. And even on the last day of expiry, I would be totally fine to keep the premium and not let my shares go. So if that's the case, I suggest be patient, wait until the last day or day before the expiry and see what's happening with the stock. So in this case, I just waited and yesterday, we already saw it was selling off a little bit. Today, bad news came in. All right, great. So now I decided, because that's the case, I will take a smaller loss, but I'm going to buy back the call. And it happens once, twice a year. There is a time when we have to buy the call back. So I look at the option chain. Here we go. 110 is expiry today. I'll have to buy back for 1040. Okay. So it is $1,000.30. I have to buy it back, minus whatever I got, so I'm having about $900 lost. So you have two ways you can do. First, you can roll the call. What it means, roll a call is basically you buy it back and sell it in the same time, but you have to sell it for a credit, which means you get money. So let's look at the scenario. I wouldn't suggest that you sell the same strike for a later date, because there is a huge momentum in AMD, and AMD might get to 150 and you're going to be crying even more. So let's look in a month from now and look 110. Let's look, we want to get 130 at least. Okay. So if you do 130 next month call, you're going to get $3.35, but you're paying $10.75, like $900. So you want to get at least $950. Let's look at August, the regular 130, you get $6.25, still not enough. September 15th, 130, you get $7.95. You see what I'm trying to say? You have to go really far away in time. So here, on October 20, regular, I could sell 130 AMD call. I'm not going to do it. Why? Because I don't want to be stuck in a covered call for 4 months. It's just too much. And even then, by then, AMD stock might be $150, $180. It's just too much. I'd rather take the loss, the $800 loss that I'm going to, or 900, pardon me, and I'm just going to call it a day. What I will do, the moment that AMD has strong days, I'm going to be selling covered calls 140, for example. So you see where we got. I'm going to wait. I'm going to be patient, and there will be time where I will make my money back. But I'm not going to sell the covered call today. I'm not going to roll the option. I just take it. I'm happy I have my shares. I take the loss. It is what it is. And this happens when you sell options sometimes. You have to buy them back with a loss. It's okay. So in the worst case, if it would be $3,000, I wouldn't buy it back. I would just let them go. So what I want to do also with AMD, another strategy, I want to sell a put. I'm not going to sell a put today because we are between blue line 10 exponential and green line 20 exponential moving averages, and I have my rule that I sell my puts on at least after 2-3 strong down days and on a support. So here is a support that's around 118. You see it right here. Today we are not there. I don't want to do it because once we get to that support, and it's also, here's the gap, you see guys, so we can totally get closer to the gap. The gap might fill, it's not always the case, but it might. I will be selling the puts then. And if I miss my boat, it's okay, I don't care. I have so many stocks I can sell puts on, you know, never freak out. I'm going to wait, and then I will be selling puts around, quite frankly here, 102, 105, depending on the delta. I will be looking at the delta then, and I will be probably selling them 30 to 45 days ahead. So let's see if that, for example, happens. It's hard to see it now because options are moving extremely fast. But if that's the case, I will be looking at the 105 or you know, this is very tiny delta. That doesn't make any sense here. I would go at least 25 delta. So that brings me here. But that's for next week. I would be looking at July 8, let's say July 21st, 105. Here, 14 delta, 110. That would make more sense, you see? Delta is right here. 22. I like to stay around 25, 30 delta when I'm selling options. So, all right. That's what my plan is. That's what you can do when you are getting called the way you don't want to. If you're not down as much and you can handle it, you can buy them back or roll if it makes sense to roll. Or you can buy them back and wait for opportunities to sell puts on the same stock and sell higher strike covered calls to make the money back. So, all right, hope this was helpful. Have a good night and great weekend.